Here we go again with another Age Buddies Spotlight. This time we're doing a team game, and our players are all in the Age Buddies actually. So not in the entirety of the team, but just half of our members here. So in the yellow, playing as the Woo, God Nikki, a recent addition to the Age Buddies team. Orange, playing as the Armenians, is Hag Border. And in the purple, playing as the Khmer, is Leaf. And finally, in the red, playing as the Vietnamese, is Slob the Knob. Um, it's funny, in the Age Buddies, these three, Hag, Sleef. I said Sleef like I'm saying Slob and Leaf. Hag, Slob, and Leaf are all the Icelandic population of the Age Buddies. They like to be a part of that team because they all all come from Iceland. So that's kind of a fun little fact about this game. And we are playing on Nomad. And then on the other team, in the gray, Cammy. I'll say Cammy, playing as the Portuguese, like down here in the south. And then in the green, Bray playing as the Romans. Over here in the blue, Manu playing as the Ketons. And then last but not least, but last to get their TC up on the enemy team, or maybe last with Gray, is Lord Nah Nah Nahua Nahua. Yeah, the Lord, and he's the Vikings. So, uh, pretty interesting civs here. I would say there's more classically good Nomad civs on the Age Buddies team. Um, Here, actually, we can. Oh, how do I? Here we go. And okay. Oh, it's, and we go. Age Buddies. Hope. There we go. All right, we're set. There, I updated the name. Maybe I could change that another way. It'd be cool if I could just click it and change like that. But we have the Age Buddies versus Team Random. I think that's the right, yeah, Eco KD. That's the right stuff we want to be watching. So Nomad is probably one of my personal favorite maps. It's probably where my skills reside in the most. And to start, looks like everyone is doing this. Yep, even Nikki is too. Is you want to put a bunch of your vills on wood to start. So we'll look at Leif here. You want vills to produce a dock to produce your first fishing ship. And once you have 75 wood for that first fishing ship, then you produce it, you start getting fish, and you take your vills off of wood and you put them onto food. And then you can keep producing at your TC. So if you time it correctly, you should have an early fishing ship out, and the moment your fishing ship is out, you take your vills off of wood and you put them onto food so that you can still produce villagers. So right now, Slob needs to do that because he's missing food right now to produce. His TC was idle. And I think he got some food from the vill there, but you can only do that once. You can only do the drop-off vill once. And then Hag over here, I think Hag is performing this flawlessly. Yep. You can see he's still producing. He's got vills in the queue. Same with Nikki, actually. Nikki's looking like a very strong Nomad player. And Nikki is actually going to be facing up against Manu. So something Nikki's going to have to start thinking about now, if I were him, and dealing with. Now, shooting down the outpost is fun, but it actually provides idle time. And you can see Green is laughing that it's getting shot down. It's a little bit idle time. It's not the worst in the world, but you could see 62% last minute versus 90%, 90%, 80%, and the other team is all at above 80%, except for Gray. Looks like Gray is having some issues over here, just getting his bore in, I guess. So it's a minor drawback, but it is a drawback, and we'll see that drop or increase back up. Just as his next minute is more productive, we see that get up there. Yeah, we're watching it right now. Actually, it's going up to 80. So it's back. He's back. He's fine. But then walking's gonna sink it right back down. So interesting stuff to know about, and to really be considering when you're playing, because you can't see this while you're playing, um, and not everyone has this to watch their games after. If you do want to see your games casted, though, I am casting age buddies that are in our group. So join the group, play some games, have some fun. Throw a rec up in one of the Discord channels that we've got for it, and I'll review it. And if it's a good game, then it'll hit YouTube too. I'm gonna be putting a bunch on YouTube just to practice more too, as my casting gets better, as my advice gets better, as my own gameplay gets better. I hope. Um, so as players are starting to get to this decision point of what they want to do in the next age, I would always recommend one person playing water on Nomad. You try to win, you try to get rid of the fish of the enemy, but you don't try too hard. If you lose water on Nomad, you just give it up. Um, it's kind of like if you can use it to get to Castle Age, that much easier, and you get to Castle Age quicker because you have 6 ships, then that's perfect. It serves its purpose. But you don't have to keep those 6 ships around for that benefit to still pay off. So Nikki here is looking for food, gonna move away to a new wood line preemptively. I think that's good. When you're close, you kind of need to be thinking about going to feudal. So for Nikki, I wouldn't expect him to go water. I wouldn't expect him to add much more fish either. I wouldn't recommend it either. I would stay at 5 fish. Do a scout with one of your fish here. Hopefully Nikki does that. Find another deep fish to take from. Looks like he's searching now. Yeah, we're looking. And then I think you really need to focus on getting military here. So get a barracks up, and then focus on scouting your opponent on what he's gonna bring on you. So the Woo for Nikki, let's see what their tech tree offers. Their infantry and naval. So I would go for Xion Swordsman if you can do an FC, if you Nikki's spot. But in feudal age, maybe just going for military or militia line would make enough sense. Nikki's gonna try to place his barracks here, and he's running right into the wall, and he doesn't actually see it. But the wall is very elaborate. It's actually so elaborate that Nikki can't break in with his military, but Nikki doesn't know that. That's just one downside to not scouting, and maybe put in an outpost here would actually give you a little more vision on that. But Blue has played this well, and he's really gonna make sure that he's safe from any aggression too. So the double layer walls is really unusual. I don't know if I'd recommend it in Blue's spot, but it's been done. And Hagrider's the first one up, and I think we're gonna see some yep, we're gonna see some water from Hag. He's going for 2 galleys. And does Hag actually see an enemy dock anywhere? I don't think he does. So Hag didn't scout with oh, maybe he did scout with a sheep actually, and he lost it right there. Yeah, that's what he did. So Hag's gonna send his galleys this way. I don't know if he knows that it's actually blocked and you can't go this way though. I don't know if he'll consider that. We're gonna see what happens with that. Still checking over here. Looks like Nikki's gonna add his buildings along the wall. Just going to add in a range and a blacksmith. I'm not sure what they're saying, by the way. If anything they're saying is inappropriate, I'm sorry. You can translate it, leave a comment. I just assume it's talking about strategy. But I'm gonna give advice like I don't have the insight of what they're thinking or going for. Just off what we can spot. And vision is really critical. I'm always gonna be flashing what the players can and can't see. Not because I want to do this 100 times, but because it's important to know where their headspace is. so they know what's possible and what isn't. Like, I want to know what Slob has scouted on Teal, and it's not much. Doesn't know that Teal's got a barracks out. I don't know why actually Teal went for barracks. That's probably a sloppy build because he doesn't have wood for anything else. Maybe he's going for a range soon. Over here, Hag is actually attacking with some men-at-arms. Oh, we've got 2 kills for them. Sorry I missed that. But finally, the Navy's here, and we're going to put an end to this wall from Gray. We'll see if they can get a kill. And we'll see if Hag finds out that that is closed off. I think he's searching right now. And he's going to come forward with the tower too. So Hag is adding some extra pressure. This is really good in feudal, especially if Gray is on his way up to castle, which he is. Then this really punishes that strategy. And he's off of stone now, so we know that he can't produce something strong like a castle drop. Is the idea, at least. Okay, and I'm really curious what happens here if this navy actually ends up going around the other side ever. And Nikki is actually still just kind of living dangerously here. Doesn't see where Blue is going with his economy or his military. He just knows he's walled out. I think an outpost there would be really strong to get a glimpse. But I'd be very worried about Castle Age coming and then a castle drop coming if you're Nikki. Right? So if you're able to make it to Castle Age and you're next to your opponent, then you better have a castle ready. Because if they make it to castle, that's exactly what they're going to have ready for you. So I think that's a smart move too, is going for a siege workshop, is to prepare for that kind of castle drop coming. And right away we'll see it hit. So this is too late. The castle is it's going to do some damage. It's actually not too bad. It's going to hit the TC, of course, so that's eventually going to go down. But you can make a new one up here on this wood line. And we're going to abandon and leave town. And what I would do is I would just delete these 3 farms, and I would leave the other farms until you have to remove them later. So it looks like we're seeing some of them behind. This one I would delete though, because while he's here, he's going to die. Yeah, that's why you delete that farm. We lost a chicken under the TC too. Rest in peace, chicken. And looks like Hag did find the edge over here. He knows he can't pass. So we'll see if he goes all the way around with that. Looks like his push is stalling a bit, but he's finding more damage over here. If he can go to the stone, Hag. Oh, he's gonna look for a way in up here instead, which is okay. But oh, he would have been found out by these archers on that stone anyways, so maybe it's a good thing. But they're not doing anything. They're on no attack. And Hag is working on getting up to Castle Age. I don't think Hag is on stone, unless he is down here, which he's not. So I'm not sure what his next move is going to be. Might be more infantry. Armenians get the longsword upgrades early, so now he can go for 2-handed, and that's what he's going for. Going for 2-handed swordsman. So well done there. Taking a look at see how Nikki is doing. He's got some rams. I like the rams as an idea, but you need military with your rams, and that's where I think Nikki could improve on that. We get town watch, so we finally see a little farther into our enemy's base, but we don't actually know what Blue has. Like infantry that might counter rams, and that's where just having rams without infantry doesn't work as a strategy. Now he has to retreat, but there's nowhere to retreat to that keeps these rams alive. This TC is going to go down. We have another one up here, but all of this is going to be vulnerable now. And the TC doesn't protect the rams because you can't garrison the TC anymore. And one scorpion is good, but you need a meat shield for the scorpion still. So I think we're gonna see Nikki ask for some help here soon. And it would be good too to point this out if you're in this position. You know, one of the reasons Age Buddies actually exist is because during team games, players wouldn't like randomly having a teammate and getting lucky or unlucky on their communication or their willingness to play or for their willingness to fight. And Age Buddies solves that because we try to connect people with, you know, other good players that want to try hard or want to improve or are just going to be nice when they play. And so in this situation, Nikki should flare to his teammates, and I know all of them would want this too, and point out what the aggression is. So if anyone has a counter unit, they can help, or for any advice on what to do, like telling Nikki to run. And Nikki did run. We're gonna see Nikki try to drop down a TC here, and Teal's fighting it off. But if Nikki can click, which he can't, then that TC goes down. And Teal is actually running because Slob is dropping a castle here. So that is some good support actually from Slob. And hopefully Nikki can focus on that. But he's busy trying to wall out the swordsman. Excuse me, I'm getting more burps. The Liao Dao. And when you're trying to wall them out and it's not working like this, you just delete the house and you run. And if you can run early, then that's really gonna make a big impact. And if you have too many vills under your TC like this, and you've got infantry specifically coming to bash it down, you need to run with more vills earlier. Like right now, I would run with all of the gold vills, and I would just come up here and find a gold. Of course, he needs to get that TC going. So really tough spot for Nikki. We haven't seen it here, but for Green has actually come, who is also Romans, with some Centurions, which are really good against infantry. Romans have good infantry in general, and he's here to help protect Gray from the push from Hag. Hag is just booming behind this, so taking advantage of his strong position and working towards that. And Nikki did abandon the stone, but he's going to need to abandon this TC because we're going to see it here. When these houses go down, there's nothing that's going to stop these Liao Dao from sitting under the TC. And there's not enough spots in the TC for all of the vills, so we're going to see some extras die, unfortunately. And we do have another TC. It is on gold. This is where you send everything, Nikki. Send everything home to your new home. Maybe Blue will drop another castle here. That would actually be good. There's not much left here to save, so Nikki, very adamant. A good fighting spirit wants to stop that, but very, very rarely do towers ever stop castle drops, and typically the towers need to be up first for it to work. And it looks like this push is actually stopped now on Hag's face, so this isn't going to result in anything more successful from here. I think coming in with a more cohesive Castle Age army is going to be needed for Hag in that corner there. And yeah, this castle is about to go up. We see the garrisoned TC lack the support for all the vills. And yeah, we're going to need to see this run happen sooner than later. Luckily, during all of this, as Nikki has been dying, Teal has died too. And Teal has had to run down here to make a new home for himself. So we can see that in worker efficiency the last minute, 44% and about 40% for Nikki. So a little better for Teal, but they're roughly playing at the same level of pain in terms of their economy. And we did see the migration from Nikki. Really smart. This TC is still producing, which is funny. It's good habit to just always produce, so I don't mind that at all. And I think we're going to see some stone here to try to get a castle up to protect Nikki. Slob is doing a great job doing that protection, though. He's dropped 3 castles in a row. His eco is doing great. Vietnamese actually have a really weak castle, but a weak castle is better than no castle. And also, they can see that they've got the lead still. So Slob's damage to Teal is telling them that they've done enough to keep them in the game. Now we're seeing from Hag, he's getting pressured from Green, and that castle is going to be denied at least temporarily. And some walls getting pushed in here, but luckily some composite bowmen here are ready to help protect, with some siege to stop the enemy siege from pushing. And I think the bowmen will do enough if you can protect them. And I do like trying to get that castle up, but I don't know, Hag, that might be too costly on that amount. Blue is continuing to drop more castles, but he doesn't know where yellow is, so he doesn't actually know that this castle serves no purpose, that he could take this for free, and that if he had walked 10 feet, he would have found where yellow was and dropped a castle on that stone to deny it. That might have been a better play. Looks like Hag is able to finally fend off the opponent, but took some losses of his eco there. Not as bad as Nikki's losses have been, but definitely put in Hag at the lower end of the team's success. The other team is talking very quickly right now. I think they're starting to understand maybe how vulnerable their position is. Nikki is focused on containing Blue, so even as Nikki has been pushed back, really good job from him to still fight and to really die as slowly as you can. And this will be a fun surprise when Blue walks this way into a castle and is denied the use of this gold that he might think he has access to now. Just taking a drink. And there's the discovery of the castle and the death of the Ladau. So now Blue is an imp. Nikki isn't. But it's gonna be something that he can hold, and it gives Blue something to focus on. All the while, the rest of the Age Buddy team can work on trying to defend and defeat. So Slob is on the way to imp, so is Hag. Leif is already there. Leif's been massing some ballista elephants for a while, and it looks like he's coming to help support Slob, and together they're going to push back Blue from this end. So I really like that. Looks like the H-Buddies have also won water on the outside. While we've been watching the land fights, Slob has been sending a bunch of fires around, cleaning up all of the fish. And I think getting over here to graze fish will be really nice too, at least until the castle is up. But it only will take 2 more houses, and then I think we'll see that happen. And Nicky's doing well to hold on. He's repairing the castle. There's Trebs coming. But from the Age Buddies, I think we're going to start seeing some other Trebs and maybe even bombard cannons. It'd be surprising to see Nicky get to Imp, but I do know not Vietnamese. It would be Slob who would do Vietnamese bombard cannon. I don't know if Khmer got bombard cannon. Let's find out. I don't think they do. And survey says that they do not. Cool. And this is a nice army, but ballistas are just going to shred infantry like that. It looks like we've got some traction trebs from the Keton player. That's always fun. Mounted trebs, not traction trebs. You can hear the pots clanging in the background. So blue is in trouble, I think he's saying. He's saying, come with me. Something along those lines. He needs help, is my impression of that. Gray and green are holding or pushing from this angle. So that's probably where green is focused, but honestly, I think they're gonna need to help blue out with what's here to push. Once we see enough trebs show up, then it's gonna get very dangerous. We've got chemistry coming in for Slob. He's got 3 siege workshops, so that tells you we're gonna see bombard cannons from Slob. And then I think Hag is just gonna go for some trebs down here with Armenians. I don't think they get bombard cannon either. Survey says I'm correct. And Nikki is just playing to stay in the game right now, which he is doing a good job at. Looks like he's got 2 TCs out producing. He could even get a 3rd somewhere, I'm sure, if he could find another wood line. Looks like he's got some vills to put to work there, which would make a good candidate. And yeah, you can't really do anything with this many Khmer ballista elephants. Nikki actually resigned. Don't know why, but he's out. I remember now watching that when I checked out this game. He might have had to leave for some reason, but he served his purpose and he played his role well enough to give him credit for playing in this game. He deserves the win if these guys can win without him. Which at this point I don't know how they win. Hag is playing a really safe and methodical push forward behind walls, so all of these Centurion might be harder to make more effective. And I really don't know how you ever stop this mass of ballista elephants, especially if I don't think you get any good siege options in terms of like a good siege onager shot. And that's kind of tough too. They have some 1100s, so they could have the skills for those kind of shots, but those are really tough shots to pay off or make pay off. And yeah, now we've got Rams coming in from Slob, so blue is really in trouble. Blue is going to be dead here in a moment. And green is trying to push back here, fighting as best he can. He's got 1 treb. He's really feeling the pressure. Unfortunately, he's trickle trebbing. You don't want to trickle treb. Hag could produce more. I think he's been a little bit slow on his push in terms of keeping the pressure on. But really, he kind of just needs to hold as long as there's a push happening elsewhere. And you can see blue is full on evacuating now. He just selected all of his vills. He's trying to hide in this corner the best he can, which is working so far. No one knows about that wood line. And if you're not on the Age Buddies team, then you might be considering how you can lose a game like this. You are going 4v3. One of your teammates just dropped, which we normally don't have that happen in the group. It is the advantage of playing with the Age Buddies, is you have people reliably able to play or able to dedicate the time, or they're not going to quit right away. I don't know the circumstances on this game. If it was something negative, I'm sure it wouldn't have been submitted to me. And Nicky's been a great player in the group from everything I've played with him, so we'll give him the benefit of the doubt. You know, things do happen on the ladder too. So we'll see what happens. Right now, blue is just getting absolutely pushed. Looks like he did get found up in this corner and is trying to run. He's going to find his way to another spot. We'll see if that ever gets spotted. Looks like it could be when Nikki gets a house there. Oh no, Nikki's out, so his Vil won't ever complete that. And yeah, blue is holding on for dear life. He's got new eco down here. He's trying to get his military production up again. Looks like teal is really pulling together every army they can. Same with gray, but teal, gray, and blue are now all in really a poor spot in terms of military. Green has a good military, but he's fighting Hag, and Hag is actually able to hold on. Mostly relying on a bunch of castles and fortified churches, though. So this isn't too pretty for Hag, but Hag is distracting green, so it kind of leaves blue and teal and gray in a spot of having to stop this massive ballista elephants, all on their own. Elephant archers. They're not the Dravidians. Need to continue hydrating. Excuse me. As I practice casting through some of these Age Buddies games, my voice is also practicing with the resulting strain of that casting. And we do see Slob now reinforcing Hagbadur. He's helping fight back the onslaught of these Centurions. It's actually really good with these all of these Vietnamese Rattan archers, Elite Rattan archers. They have extra HP, so they can actually hold up a little better versus melee units like this. So they don't need as much of a meat shield per se. And they still are getting one from Hag, who is providing some infantry out front. Yeah, it looks like this is going to actually stop that push. And now green is going to be pushed back. Yeah, nothing really to say here. Leif is continuing to keep his push up. Blue is in even more of a panic as his military production is at risk up here. And they do have 3 walls, but I think they're going to be able to break through these walls here fairly quickly. And again, I'm sorry I can't translate, but I can only infer negative things of what's being said there. Green is probably reporting back that he's getting pushed here. And Slob coming in with his Rattans is really going to hurt. Again, this hurts Gray too. Gray has kind of been squished since the start of this game, since Hag started. Again, so Blue did a good job to push and pressure Nikki, and Nikki is now out of the game. But then Blue got pushed back by Slob. And Gray was the Nikki of their team, who got pushed back by Hag. And then Hag got pushed back by Green, but now Slob's able to push back on Green there as well. So Gray isn't able to help. Green is now suffering losses. Blue has been needing help from Teal over here and has been suffering losses. And the Age Buddies are just slowly taking down all of these buildings. It looks like they're getting stuck up on these castles. So probably something that Leif could do better in the future is just work on, and I'm going to turn down some of these sounds here. The combat. Leif could work on all of his rally points for his military. There, it's a little better. You can still hear it loud enough to enjoy, but not quite so overcoming. And back here on the right, we have a train of green villagers walking out for some gold and stone. But that's not really going to last in the long term, thanks to the castle here that is slowly shooting down well, the buildings over here, but we'll soon shoot at these villagers, and we'll get some champions here. Looks like they're running through, trying to run through. We go for some villagers. And yeah, Hag is producing some trebs again. We're going to see that take down these castles. I think we'll see a response to these bombard cannons. Looks like blue is stabilized here a bit. These castles did stop the mass from working. Leif has fixed that. He's now going to help push with the trebs here from Hag, and they're going to push down the center on green. And I think once they can take down green, they're really going to get to the heart of the eco of the team and cause a resign. So it's looking really strong. To have the score lead with still only 3 teammates really does provide a little confidence for the Age Buddies here. But it's not quite sold yet. Blue is working on trying to stay in it. Amazingly, he does have good eco, and I think that's why he's in the score lead. His good eco is keeping him at a good amount of res collected. 61,000. Oh, spent or destroyed. Value destroyed. That explains his score. Excuse me. Gotta hit my mute button. I apologize. Blue is actually maintaining a good push because of all these mounted trebuchets. So I think we're gonna see the need for an answer for that come. And I would love to see that. Click the castle and just watch the health drop, but using it mostly as a siege weapon. Not sure what the enemy is saying there. Again, for the 500th time. I've not learned in this cast. But wow, even with that push north, which Slob is pointing out and asking for help on, Leif has just pushed right through the center of this eco. I'm gonna assume that the trebuchets will soon be on these castles, but massive losses for green, and I don't know how these are sustainable. Looks like an evacuation of his villagers is needed, and it's happening right now. And some very slow capped rams coming in. Blue is coming home to try to stop the bleeding. And looks like green is down to 19 villagers. That is true. Oh, 19. Oh, no. 19 deaths is there. Where's his vills? No, 36 vills. 19 minutes. Maybe he's saying he has 19 minutes left. I'm not sure. He's in trouble, though. He's looking for spots to put his villagers to work. I think he's trying to expand up to here again. But this is going to get pushed. I know Slob is aware of this and is probably working on reinforcing that. Looks like Leif is starting to regather units there. And kind of an impressive push still. Leif is kind of soloing this. But Slob has definitely been the backbone of support. Slob now switching from rat and archers to elephants, and that's actually going to destroy all of the skirms that Teal is making. So this push is over, but Teal doesn't know it yet. And Slob is just going to come in and take out these castles with elephants. Trebs and rams be damned. Leif coming in, making Teal suffer. I think we're very, very close to seeing the GG called. It's looking like the enemy team doesn't know what they can do to help support their teammates or stop their own bleeding. And no one this entire game has had an answer for the mass of ballista elephants that Leif has been able to just maintain and keep alive. Now there is this really nice mass of blue traction trebuchets, but or mounted trebuchets. Sorry, I'm gonna keep messing that up for the end of time. But I don't think they're doing enough or able to do enough quick enough. I don't think they do well enough against units. Let's see how the damage looks there. They're missing, so we need to see a better micro shots too. But the damage they do just is not comparable to the damage they receive from the ballista elephants. Wow. Here they go. Oh, right through the choke point, and there's nothing left to be said. I haven't actually seen any trebuchets come with these ballista elephants. Leif has just been eating the damage under the TCs and the castles, and it has paid off because the damage has been catastrophic. Only 86 villagers between 4 players on the other team. They've got military, and that's what's keeping them in the game, but right now I don't see a single push that's working out for them. Gray is actually able to manage a nice complement of 31 hand cannon. And that is actually a good unit against militia and infantry from Hag. And it actually works well against elephants too. But it needs a meat shield of halberdier. Because these elephants are doing enough, and so can the infantry too. With enough of a swarm. Gonna do enough to put him behind to where Gray can't hold much longer. And finally, Blue's eco is now taking another hit. He ran once, he's run again, but it's not going to be enough. And right now, I'm not sure what's keeping the enemy team in, but the Age Buddies are able to last out. And one other factor about this game that I haven't really talked about, because normally on Nomad, and there's still a bunch of resources around here to take, as you don't trade, but there has been some insane trading happening behind the scenes, and it's all been coming from Slob. So he's been trading down here from this dock all the way up here, all the way to this dock over here, actually, with Hag. And that's been bringing, I didn't actually see there was any gold there. Let's see, what's in there? Does it show me the gold? I can't see how to see the gold, but I'm sure it's a good amount. It's a pretty good distance across the map. So I think that's gonna pay off. We'll see what the result is there. I expect it to be pretty high, but that's just allowing a lot of these things like that elephant switch to happen for Slob. It's why he's probably taking the lead economically, although being the lowest rated player. And we'll see what happens here. Looks like Slob's pointing out extra gold. He's taking that for himself too. Yep, and he's got 23 trade cogs. I was just checking, no one else has really any trade or trade cogs. So we'll see how that pays off. How much more that was able to afford Slob in the long run, I'm sure we'll see as well. And we've kind of come to another stalling point where the enemy team is trying to get back on their feet. They've put out all the fires, but there's just so much that is broken. They are in a reconstruction period, and I am going to guess that word, hopefully correctly. So Manu is capturing the essence of what they're focused on perfectly. Still being allowed here in the corners, which is kind of interesting. Slob does see that. There's a mill there, doesn't see the farm. And we'll see what happens there. Looks like we are seeing a little bit of a pushback from Gray. His reconstruction is stopping, and he's going to try to make a push for the castle, stopping at all the ballista elephants. I think skirms are an okay answer to ballista elephants, but skirms just mass up, and so they can be countered just as easily with good attention to detail by these ballista elephants. So, like, this mass is not going to do enough versus the 5 that are sitting there. We'll see one go down, but it's like a 1 to 15 ratio you could see there. Running in with a bunch of halbs does work though, because you have to run back with your mass unless you have a large enough amount of them. And Slob's starting to raid here in the corners, so the pressure's back on. Reconstruction period is over. The Age Buddies are no longer allowing it. They're done with it, and we'll see what happens. I think we need to see some more concentrated siege from the Age Buddies to really end this game. That's kind of been the only thing that's been missing from their gameplay. It's the only thing that's really kept the enemy team in here is the lack of siege. But looks like good raids to spot them and to stop the spreading of any of their locations. And I'm curious to see if they get in back here to hit blue again. I think that's going to be one of Slob's next goals. And looks like green wants a way in to the to his allies' base to help, which makes sense. They've been playing very well. I don't know if they know each other. If they're all random teammates, then that's more impressive. Normally, it's hard to find a good teammate that communicates well. So, happy if that's the case. Yeah, I think we're gonna see. Gray and green get pushed back here completely. We're gonna see those trebs come forward for these castles here. And honestly, we should just see all of Leif's elephants come down here too. Looks like Hag is starting to send in scouts, or Lykav. And Slob is looking to raid. Looking to take all the res that's left over here too. And has increased his trade to 33. Looks like he's told others too. Hag has added some trade, and maybe Leifwell too. But if I know them, during this game, they were all talking on Discord, and they were all talking and discussing about their positions, their plans. That's why you haven't seen any chat. It's been all over voice, which is a really effective way to play. A lot of fun to play if you're talking with your team over voice, rather than having to type out and manage everything about this game. It's hard enough to play without talking. But the extra level of communication really does increase what you can do with your team too. So, and Hag is kind of just streaming in some light cav there. I'm not sure if it's the most effective strategy. I think blue needs to really max out his farms back here. Green and teal need to rebuild. There is a push here. So that's what everyone's focused on, and green has a bunch of scorpions. So that's a really good counter too to this massive ballista elephants. It's actually the best thing they've had so far. Unfortunately, Slob has a bunch of scouts like Cav to come in and put an end to this mass of scorpions. And then they're going to be able to come in and start hitting all these mounted trebuchets next. So it was a really good idea, but that needed to be a more protected mass by the Romans player. And I assume that's something negative about their situation. About green just losing all of his military there. He needs to put up more population space. And yeah, this is better. He's got it kind of protected with buildings, so you're going to get a lot more of that feeding in for green. But I'm not sure you can stop the amount of units here from the Age Buddies. And all these trebs are really good now too. That's what we've been missing, is the trebs. There's trebs here from Hag, but I think they're all rightfully focused over here together. In the team game, it's really important to know where you need to play and where to focus. And typically, you want to fight with your teammates. And that's even more important if your opponents are fighting with each other. So you have the same number of units trying to fight with each other can help counter the your allies' weaknesses and take it from there. So what a game! This has been quite the slog for the Age Buddies. I've been impressed with their ability to stay in this. They've multiple times had to come back on the left side and then the right and then re-support the left and push through the center and lose a bunch through the center. And it looks like it's kind of at a final panic here for blue. Full caps trying to get the last bit of hope out for their team. Understandably, they might be frustrated. They're fighting kind of 4v3. population space. They should have more. They should have 800 to 600. So that's more res and more ability to produce military and reproduce military. But the H buddies have been playing very well. It's been great having the Khmer ballista elephants here because that's a very population efficient unit. And I think what to do is the question Blue is asking here. He's got kind of a stuck situation where his units don't do much for this mass. And he's kind of on a limit for res. I don't see where they're taking wood anymore. This is their wood line being under attack there. This corner here is just the last bit for teal. Everything here is fine for gray, but it's getting pushed back slowly. Actually, gray is pushing back on orange for now. We'll see how long that lasts with the redirection of the light cav there. Blue is fighting, puts down another TC there, but I'm not sure what wood Blue is going to have to work with except for this wood line. And they're going to have no space to produce military. This is all of their military production right here. So that really puts an army, a hard spot on making army. And he's saying he's got no army, so it's a 3v3, something like that, I'd assume. Hag is able to hold off on the push here, just barely. Well done. Well done by the H buddies. Been a good game. I'm kind of out of things to say. I'm probably repeating myself a couple times here and there, but it's just kind of a slaughter now, and just waiting for the enemy team to understand their true position. They are fighters. I will 100% give them that, but I don't think there's much left here to fight for. If Slav can notice this castle, that can be denied, and then they can make their way into this little last blue fortress here. But this really cuts the enemy team in half. I'm not sure where Teal is, but he has not been playing the game very actively. He's just been accepting the res take. He doesn't really have much in terms of vills, though, so I can't really blame him. He's down to 8 vills. And that castle is going to go up, but I think it's going to go right back down the moment Slob sees it and brings over a couple trebs. Yeah, there's the trebs. I think we're going to see those go right up here. That would make the most sense in my eyes. But they could also just keep pushing this south point there. And Hag is holding on. That's all he has to do is hold. So doing well. He's going to get a good hit on some skirms. Glad I can spot those kinds of things. Has an upgraded onager, not just a mangonel. And will lose his onager there, but gets a good hit anyways. And they're under a TC, so this is still an overall win of a situation. A good hold. And blue is going to completely get slaughtered here. These ballista elephants can cut wood, so they're going to cut right through the tree line. And blue is asking what to do because he's got nothing left. This is all his eco. He's got, you know, 1 TC up there, but I think they're dead. They've been dead for a bit, but I think they're realizing they're dead now. Gray no longer has a positive story over here. Looks like he says so. And we're going to see the GG come in. So well played for the H buddies. They were able to manage a really good game, taking advantage of every aspect of this map, such as getting a new dock down and increasing the amount of trade. Looks like Leif did make some trade too after all, so really good for them to communicate and get the idea out for trade. Something that Leif is definitely listening to a bit more with Hag, but Hag has really had to focus on his push and hold here. Both at times pushing and holding, so no fault to him there. And yeah, that's just going to give them an unlimited amount of res to continue this push. I think they can either focus on killing the Vils here with a bunch of raids, which is what Slob is doing, and then get all their trebs here and a push there. Looks like Slob's going to run in with a bunch of the Cav. And I keep saying it, but I think we'll see a GG here very shortly. You can see Hag needs more gold than anything. That's a result of his lack of trade. So, really good for Slob to, and I just am giving him full credit since I saw him trading first to push his team to start trading. Those are kind of the differences in life and death with your team. Sometimes you can play equally as well as the enemy team, but they add trade just a bit earlier than you do and can sustain gold unit production that much longer, and that's enough for them to make it out ahead and win the game. So, and that happened with myself and another age buddy on a banana, who I casted a game of previously. So check that out if you haven't already seen it. And as we watch the Age Buddies crumble, not crumble, but destroy and crumble the opponent, really interesting pushback actually from Green. Roman's still kicking in the end. If you're ever interested in becoming an Age Buddy, or you want to know more about what the Age Buddies are or what we do, just go to agebuddies.com. There's a link to the Discord. We are okay with anyone who wants to join. We just ask that you play with a positive mentality, with a nice town center bell ring from Blue as he tries to fight on for dear life. But a positive attitude, or you're just a generally nice person in the group, and you play to get better, or you just play to have fun. It doesn't matter, as long as you have a good attitude about things. You can join. And we play community games every Sunday on my stream. So go to twitch.tv/David810S. That link is in the description. Every Sunday, we play games there. But during the week, the Discord, the Age Buddies Discord, is always active and contains a bunch of players, either playing 1v1s or team games. So it's a good spot. Nice shout if you are looking for that kind of thing. And Green is really trying to keep this team in the game. It looks like Teal is fighting off really well too. He's able to keep enough bombard cannons alive to hold these trebs back. Looks like Hagbiter's in this continuous push of trying to keep his siege alive and then fighting off the siege from Gray. But the difference between it all is Leif. Leif, with his massive ballista elephants, is just able to absolutely destroy everything about the opponent here. And Hag is running in to destroy the mass of these mounted trebuchets mounted on the backs of camels. Really good to see those always crumble. Excuse me, muted up for a cough I had there. I would really like to see Leif play with more siege, even though he's got a bunch of these ballista elephants. They would be better put to use shooting Vils and TCs than castles themselves. They still work, but it's not quite as efficient as less HP buildings such as TCs. But you know, he's able to sustain the production of it all, so it doesn't matter in the end. And here we see full champion spam from Hag to keep the Portuguese off, and they're just spamming trash units and producing as many hand cannons as they can. I think it's a losing fight here for Teal, not Teal, but for Gray. The difference is really if Hag can push down these bombard cannons, or if he's able to keep those behind the walls. And Green is doing a good job pushing Slob. Slob is taking a pretty good hit. It's actually hurting his eco pretty immensely. He's down to 74 Vils. That is one thing Slob can improve on in his games too, and it looks like Leif is with him habitually playing together. Maybe they share the same bad habit of not producing up to 100. So that's something I think they could definitely work on. Like Hag is able to, he's able to produce all of his military much quicker to enforce what he loses. And that's what having like 130 Vils does for you, is it gives you a quicker response time to get more military if you lose your entire military. And right now they're asking about Fatorias for Gray. I think Gray is going to be asking for, or giving some res to them. Not seeing anything. I was just making sure I've got the market events on, and I do. And looks like camels from blue, but that's not going to do enough. Oh, the Fatorias are all under attack now from Gray, so this is a good use for all these ballista elephants. I'm just worried about this castle fire too. That's where having siege really helps, makes a difference. But this is a really interesting push. They've kind of cut the enemy in half, and that's kind of doubled the problem for the Age Buddies. Think about this, because now Green is fighting from here, and that's forcing a lot of response from Leif and Slob to close up the base and to stop the bleeding at home. But they are still able to kill this mass of units over here, and I think if Leif is able to keep all of his ballista elephants focused on units together, then they're going to be able to stick alive, and it looks like he's trying to do exactly that. So for Leif, I would just click all of your ballista elephants to one spot, and then let them get there, and then shoot from there. Because if you just patrol them all to one spot, then they're going to go a different way, because they've caught the attention of this building, and they're going to try to shoot it, or shoot a house. And so right now, you're only fighting with half your units, instead of all of your units. It doesn't matter in this case, but it could matter in a fight, and it could make the difference between losing your mass and not. Now, it could have made more of a difference if Blue had come in earlier to attack and fight with, but this was always going to happen with all the units anyways, with this mass just dying. And at the end, all of the raids at home don't matter, because they've got so much trade coming in that can't be attacked, that it shouldn't be an issue for the Age Buddies team here. And just like that, Leif corrected it. He grabbed all of his units. He's trying to throw them all together. They're still attacking this house. I disagree with that kind of decision making that the units make. I think they should always focus units first. Like, take an area, if there's units, they focus that, and then they go for the house. But that's just something that could be changed in time, I'm sure. And now he's focusing these Fatorias, which is really good. You can't get the res for new ones back right away. And it's going to stop the use of these bombard cannons, which is kind of plaguing Hagbur over there. And I think over here, we're going to see Slob prepare for a fight. He might go Rattan. I'm hearing Rattan, so it would make sense in my eyes for Slob to go Rattan. Yep, there's some Rattan. And if he can finish up his walls too, that would be perfect. He's going to see that. It's what happens when you patrol. You'll just attack random buildings like that. And actually, Nikki is still helping from the dead, giving all of these units something to attack. Gonna slow them down on their way to Slob, and I think detrimentally so. Kill the enemy team here. Looks like Teal quit, actually. I don't know when that happened, but I'm blind. If you made it this far in the video and you noticed that I didn't notice that, you can make fun of me in the comments. Just cite this. I said I could make fun. You could make fun of me for that. Makes sense. I think Green is saying he has no res. And he's using all his military to attack units that don't matter necessarily. And I'm not sure where Slob has all his military. He's got Rattan and Cannon Galleon. Where's he got Cannon Galleons shooting from? I bet you the Cannon Galleons are here shooting. That would make sense if they shot into here. Maybe they're over here. Okay, they're over here. Shooting at Blue's entire base over here. That makes sense. And I think we're gonna 2 times this and catch up to the next fight here. It looks like we're having some hold here still from Gray. Green is here now. But is going to be behind some walls, and that's gonna lead to some castle fire, getting some kills here for Slob. He's gonna get a couple kills there, and the Rattan too. I hope they're not targeted on those houses, and they'll switch to the units when they get close. Oh no! Oh, okay, they're switching, but I don't think they have enough health for this, so that's gonna be something Slob needs to notice and close off. If he can manage that. It's been open for a little bit now. But he's been focused on the ability to push him back from the water here. And Gray is finally dead. He's lost all his bombard cannons in that center. And he lost his Fatorias, so I think that's his final bit. He's throwing in the towel. And I think we're going to finally see the GG come in here. This was a long game. Really well played from the enemy team to hold on. They actually made it possible to make it competitive. We've seen a really large disparity in eco this whole time, but what I mean by that is Green is still actually pushing here, so I get why they're still playing and they still wanted to play. But this eco doesn't do much anymore. If we see the amount of res the Age Buddies have, they've got a ton of gold, a ton of food, a ton of wood. The enemy team is not near there. They've got a good amount of gold for Green, but they don't have the reoccurring gold. They're gonna run out of the gold mines that they're currently on, and it's not gonna spell well for them. They still have not decided that yet, clearly. So the game goes on. We'll finally see this last holdout attacked by the Age Buddies, and it looks like we've got some blue units heading that way now. Bunch of Greenvilles just lost gold, and you could see there's still 14 gold somewhere, and oh, not 14, or 0 gold. They're going on to stone now. Oh no, I'm looking at green. Yeah, 6 on gold. One, everything else there is on stone. But the Age Buddies with trade are definitely going to be in a nicer spot. This raid is nice though. Hag definitely has the least amount of trade of the group, and he's starting to add more now. But losing that gold is going to hurt that transition for him. And we're gonna see this get under control up here. Hag is gonna come in with his cavalry. Armenian get cavalry. They don't get paladin. So cavalier is there. That'll do well against the infantry. And these raids will be over with. And it looks like the infantry are trying to hurt the trade. It just doesn't do enough. They're too slow. And the GG is being called here from the enemy team. So well played. As this game finishes up, I think we can see the winners. I want to thank you for watching, and if you want to play team games with the Age Buddies, whether it be a ranked game like this, whether you're playing 1v1s with Age Buddies, or if you join on those Sundays, for those community games. We did Exploding Kings. We do a bunch of different settings with different maps, with different objectives. We play mini games like Honor Draw Royale, which is coming this Sunday. So feel free to come check us out, and we'd love to have you there. The Twitch link should be in the description below. We can do a little bit of a speed up here as we watch the defeat finally come in. And I thought it was for sure close to here. How long does this game go? It's kind of at a inconsequential point where it's an inevitable win. We just need to see all of the military get string over here to finish off green, to take away all the hope he's got. And we're seeing that right now. Here comes the last fight. The XDs are in the chat. I'm not sure what Teal has left, but he still has something, I guess, in this maze of walls. Leif is just bringing in all of his military here for the push. Getting rid of these trebs is great. And there's nothing really keeping these guys in the game now, except the pure determination to not resign. Look at the, oh my goodness. Look at that. I guess they do well enough against the castles that you don't need trebs, honestly. It just feels bad, and there's the GGs. Hopefully coming in, because I'm out of things to say. And my voice is giving out on me, or I wouldn't be speeding up like this, so... really, I don't recommend playing on this long. He is still trying to make a new town center under the castle of Red here. Really funny. Oh my goodness. There's 56 villagers. This is creeping at this point. The Age Buddies have just clearly smacked him down. And there it is. Well played. I hope comes soon, because this game is over and I need to stop moving because it's speeding around so much. It's lagging. Here, we'll go 8 times. And the resigns from Gray. Did they really have to defeat? They really had to defeat. Because the other players have all resigned. Gray is down here producing stuff still. Do they see that? They don't see that. Now they see that. And here come the ballista elephants. And I think they research spies. So the whole map is visible for them. And he's walling in his last castle here. No more Fatoria. And we get a little bit of a taunt. So if you play this long, I think you've earned a bit of a taunt. You should just resign, say GG, end the game earlier. You don't have to drag it out for a defeat. But there it is. The defeat comes in, and the Age Buddies are victorious. So well played to all of our Age Buddies, Hag, Slob, Leif, and Nikki. Thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed, don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more Age Buddies content, and I will catch you in the next one.